da da dum, ba dum bum, ba 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 da dum. Ooh, 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 da da dum, da da dum, da da dum, da 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 dum. Ooh, ooh do 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 do, da 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 da, da 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 dum, ba bum ba 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 da dum. Doi dee da da dee da do da dee da do da do da do da do do dee da do da da yum. Doi de doi doi da 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 boing ba 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 da dum. Do 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 da 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 dum. Do 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 dum bang bang chick dum bang chick ba ba dum. Ooh 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 do 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 chick dum do chick dum do chick dum do chick do chick do chick. Da 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 da. Do 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 da 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 da. About to start the show. That is a hilarious picture of my coffee next to the router. Back to me. And dun da 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 da. Do 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 do. Demian's gonna get his privileges revoked. Da 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 doing. If you're joining us, thank you. We're about to get started. About to get this whole dang thing going. But a little soothing jazz music for you. Do 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 da do da 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 do 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 da do da do da do. Mental health during COVID. What's up, everybody? Welcome to FUNGI Live. It's Thursday, 12 p.m. Central, and that means it's time to go live. This is the show for those marketing rock stars, those sales experts who want to grow their audience, who want to grow their careers. Thank you for joining us today. And we are talking about some stuff here. Insomnia, grief, feelings of uselessness. How do we maintain our mental health during the pandemic? That's the topic today. Before we jump in, my name is Matt Cornelison. I'm with FUNGI Media. I'm the video producer, storyteller. With me, as always, we have the lovely, the amazing, the wonderful Ashley and Demi on the ones and the twos, making it happen, mixing it up, making this whole thing go down smooth. I have a question for you guys, and it's kind of a serious question. I want to know this. How are you feeling?
Ron, where are you?
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Well, he is in a glass case of emotion, and sometimes I feel like I'm in a glass case of emotion with all this isolated world that I live in right now. And when I say, how are you feeling, I'm not just asking, how are you doing, or how is work going, or how's it going with the family, are you taking care of them? No, I mean, like, how is your emotional state, and how is your mental health? We wanted to understand how this whole isolation thing is impacting our mental health, our mental wellness. And to do that, we invited our special guest, Dr. David Rakowski of Wellington Counseling Group, who is a clinical psychologist, to help us understand isolation and what we can do about it. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
We're social animals. We evolved as a species through all these hundreds of thousands of years of human existence because of our tendency to cluster into groups, to be social and live in society. And so to suddenly be isolated and away from other people, whether you are physically safe and well-fed or not, there's something that's not happening, and you may not know what it is. I think one of the effects that I'm seeing of the isolation people have is that they are much more living in their phones, much more living in their virtual world. Their social life comes through social media, and they're very disturbed at the idea that some people are willing to put other people in jeopardy because they're feeling nudgy about being in the house. We should all be very careful about what we amplify in social media. I will also tell you that by the third week, I was picking up on a lot of feelings of uselessness from people. And it didn't matter whether they were employed and working from home and doing their job. I'd like to introduce you to something called grief, Matt. There's a lot of grief for things lost. I mean, whether it's not having a senior year end for high school kids and graduations, or for my kids and their friends who just found out yesterday that sleepaway camp is not happening this year. It's canceled. So in this time of isolation, we've been focusing more on what can you control. Being connected, staying connected is the best prevention for that freak out moment. I had my first Zoom chat with a friend of mine from college. And we're lucky if we speak once a year on the phone. But today, we got out of our comfort zones, got on Zoom, and had a delightful, very connected conversation. And I have to tell you, the rest of my day went pretty well. We're social creatures, and we need those points of connection.
All right, getting connected, very important, as Dr. David talks about. I want to share one example of staying connected, which I think is really hard to do right now. Something creative, though, that I recently tried with my friends. My girlfriend and I recently created a show and tell Zoom event. So you guys are probably familiar with show and tell from school. Well, we kind of did that. We actually created this fun little flyer, show and tell, and we invited a few different friends to join a Zoom chat, Zoom meeting, and we essentially invited everybody to bring their artifact. My artifact is this 1980s glove that I used to wear when I used to go biking with my dad, and we told a story about it, and then we went around and everybody shared their artifact. And I thought that it was really fun because, number one, it can be hard to facilitate a conversation with friends on Zoom. It's like people don't know when to talk. You kind of say, how are you doing again? And it can be sometimes just a little bit awkward. So giving somebody a theme or like a format to a conversation I thought was a really cool thing. I just wanted to share that with you. So try a show and tell Zoom and see what happens. It might be weird, but it might be cool too. All right, so stay connected. That's the first thing. Number 2, acts of service. We talked to Dr. David a little bit more about how acts of service can be a powerful way to help during isolated times. Let's roll that footage.
First and foremost, find a way to be of service to someone. It doesn't have to be someone you know, and in fact, maybe that's even better. Being of service to people has an incredible effect, not just of staving off unwanted feelings of depression or anxiety, but of just making you feel so much more useful and content. Just listening to someone can be an act of service and love. Whether you're enjoying it or not, that's an act of love. And that has a profound effect on the human psyche. Introvert or extrovert, doesn't matter. The act of service and kindness, they'll come to you if you start to meditate on it. Once you open yourself up to that, the universe just serves them up.
So what I love about that is, an act of service can be something, could be big, it can be something as simple as just listening to someone. And I actually want to give a shout out to a good friend who I think is doing something really cool around acts of services. Her name is Naomi Harlow, and she created a Facebook community called Lockdown Mental Health Support. And they basically use it as a resource. And I'm a member, there's like 600 other people who are sharing articles, they're sharing content, they're using it as a place to go, to feel connected, to stay connected, and certainly during weird, isolated, dark times. And I think it's really a cool, creative thing you could do. And it's also simple. Creating a Facebook group on Facebook is a way to bring people together. So Naomi Harlow, thank you so much for doing that. I'm really glad that I'm a member of that. So, acts of service, stay connected, acts of service. Number 3, sleep. How can we feel good if we're not sleeping? We talked to Dr. Dave a little bit about what we can do around sleep. Let's roll that footage.
People's sleep has become disturbed by so much screen time that we are being forced to do in order to stay connected and stay employed, and that we're being bombarded with these, very blue light patterns that we're not really used to having so much of. And sometimes too close to bedtime, our brains aren't ready to start releasing melatonin. And without that melatonin release, you don't get sleep initiation. And the things that can disrupt sleep can be, even if there is uninterrupted sleep, it could be bedtimes that initiate too late. We're out of our patterns. And there's such looseness right now that really we can kind of slip around back and forth into poor sleep hygiene, where we may be falling asleep on the couch and sort of substituting it for our beds. First of all, make sure that you are not having a full meal within, say, an hour and a half to 3 hours of bedtime. You want to be fully digested, but you also don't want to be hungry. You have to be careful because your brain and sleep really does burn calories. The other thing is, have that last hour before you try to go to bed screen-free. And then another thing is making sure that you're mindful of your sleep schedule. You need, as an adult, minimum 6 hours. Junior high and high school kids really need more sleep than any of us need, and they get the least of it.
All right, so sleep, very, very important, which actually brings me to a good, perfect segue to a word from our sponsor for the second week in a row. This episode brought to you by pillows. Perfect for sleeping, perfect for screaming into, and if you're really stressed out, they're perfect. They're perfect for pillow fights. There you go, for fighting. Okay, so if you're feeling stressed out, get a pillow, sleep on it, or hit somebody with it if you want to. Somebody you love, though, in a nice way. It's a loving fight. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up with a little food for thought. I want to thank Dr. David Rakowski for bringing us that insight around mental health. Obviously, we're feeling isolated, and there are some things that we can do to combat those feelings of grief, of uselessness, whatever it is. We're all feeling it a little bit, right? So the first thing is stay connected. Find a creative way to stay connected with people. The second thing, acts of service. What are you doing? Even if it's really small, can we just simply reach out to a friend and just listen? I thought that was a really great takeaway. And then the third thing is obviously sleep. What can we do to get into a better routine, set those boundaries, eat at the right time, and sort of shut down the technology an hour before we're supposed to go to bed, so we're avoiding that overdose of blue light. We will be linking to Dr. David Rakofsky on Facebook, so you can check out his practice. He is helping out with telehealth, and he has psychologists and a whole practice around that to help you out. So we'll want you to check them out. And as always, this show is built around your questions, your ideas. We will be posting a weekly question in the Facebook group in our community and getting your insight, because we build the whole show around that. And we're so excited for next Thursday to taco about it. All right, that's it for this episode of Fungi Live. We will see you next Thursday, 12 p.m. Central. Until then, see you later. Adios. Do 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 do